What's up, guys? It's Rain City MMA, your boy Bryson with
Joey.
And today we're breaking down Noche UFC, Lopes versus Silva. I just wanted to say, though, the last 5 fight cards were 4-1, giving out those parlays to you guys. We're 2-1 in Dana White Contender Series as well. We got one coming out real soon. Today we're filming this, but this video will come out a little later. But a parlay is coming out for you guys today. And yeah, here we go. We got the Noche UFC. This one's going to be fun. We got the Ultimate Fighter finale for welterweight. We got Rodrigo Senado versus Daniil Donchenko. Rodrigo's coming in at plus 200. Donchenko's minus 250. I really like Donchenko here. I actually think he'll dominate him, maybe to a 30-27 decision, or he'll get him out there late. Rodrigo, he has good jiu-jitsu, good grappling. He fought hard, but he fought the weaker competition in the Ultimate Fighter, I thought. And Donchenko, he's a real problem. Yes, it was a little dirty against Matt Dixon, the way it finished. But I think Donchenko's the side to play, and he'll be the first leg on our 3-leg parlay for Noche. I really think good things for him in the future of the UFC when he gets a contract and dominates Rodrigo. Who do you got, Joey?
Yeah, honestly, Rodrigo, I love the personality of the guy and I love his heart. But sometimes, he just goes out there and I tend to see him gas a little bit. Second round, and also with the Ultimate Fighter, a lot of the time it doesn't even go to round 3. It's 1 or 2, you know what I mean? And if you're already fading in round 2, a round 3 is going to be crazy for you, brother. I think he's going to hit him with the body kicks. I think he's going to work him well and maybe find a finish in the third. But safer bet, just go money line, and we're locking it in for the first leg of our parlay. Let's get it. Montserrat Rendon versus Alice Pereira. We got Rendon at a plus 130 dog and Pereira as a minus 155 favorite. Just letting you guys know, as we always do, we use BetMGM. I know a lot of people use different sports books, but we're at BetMGM. So on the Rendon side, she's never been finished, and she has great offensive wrestling. And on the other hand, devil's advocate, Pereira shows great athleticism, and she has great strength, and she has decent offensive wrestling. So, guys, it's going to be a close fight. I don't like betting on the first fight of the card, but if I had to pick, I got Rendon, just money line. What do you think, Bryson?
It's a close one. You got Pereira, who's very inexperienced, raw in the striking. She's 19 years old, decent gas tank. Her last fight, I think it was a 5-rounder. She went all 5, dominant decision. Rendon, she got a little UFC experience, I think 2 fights. Has a good gas tank, has shown multiple times can go to the decision. And 28% striking accuracy, though. That's a little tough for Rendon. So on the feet, it might be a little interesting if the wrestling doesn't get into that. But for me, I'm going plus money Rendon. For me, though, don't bet on this fight, guys. It's not a good one. And I wouldn't put my money on it.
All right, guys. Next up, we got a flyweight matchup between Alexandro Costa and Aiden Correa. Aiden Correa is a plus 350 dog, and Alexandro Costa is a minus 440 favorite. I mean, guys, Costa throws some nasty low kicks. He has that crazy KO power, but, on the other hand, Correa trains at a 4-ounce fight club with Joshua Van and Michael Aswell, and he was also a Fury champion. He's got some pretty good wins on his record. He's got Apanena Penance. I don't know how to pronounce that. Excuse me for that. But he got a KO there. His last couple fights against Chris Oncon, he got a KO. And Lafarge, he got a KO. I mean, this guy's on a streak. He did get a sub in one of his last 3. But I think that KO, is a little scary. But I got Costa money line in this fight. Who do you have, Bryson?
I also have Costa. I'm very high on him. He trains with Diego Lopes, Garasso, Lupi Godinez, all that crew. He's only had 4 fights in the UFC, but he fought Albazi, Jimmy Flick, Steve Erceg, and Kevin Borhaus. And the Borhaus win actually ended up aging well. He beat Lazy Boy, and then he had a competitive decision against Sumadarji. Sumadarji was just too long for Borhaus. But back on Costa, he times counterpunches well, improved technical boxing, got a good gas tank. He's just fought high-level competition. I believe in him. Korea, I do like how he trains with Vannon as well. That Houston gym's just getting bigger and bigger. Korea's good, is watching film on him, good boxing. He do got some grappling, decent takedown defense, but I just think Costa, with the experience and everything, is going to be great. He's also going to be on our parlay, so that's Donchenko and Costa so far.
All right, guys, next up, we got a middleweight bout between Zachary Reese and Cedricus Dumas. Cedricus Dumas at a plus 200 dog and Zachary Reese as a minus 250 favorite. Dumas, guys, has had some troubles with the law recently. He has in the past before, and he's one of the most arrested fighters. Not trying to be like that, but he is. He does have improved offensive wrestling, and he throws great straight shots. He's kind of more of a street fighter type of guy, if you will. Zachary Reese, on the other hand, has high-level jiu-jitsu and shoots crazy explosive takedowns. I got Zachary Reese in this fight. I bet on him his last fight, but Zachary Reese, money line, is my pick. Who you got, Bryson?
Yeah, I'm going Zachary Reese here. I'm not a big fan of betting on this matchup at all. Dumas, you never know where his head's at, low fight IQ. He does have some decent offensive grappling and wrestling. It's been improving a bit. I think he's training out in a decent Florida gym now. Reese, he's very dangerous early, has went past round 1 2 times, has won both actually. I just think he'll get a knockout early, if not round 2, but maybe Reese knockout if you guys want to bet on this fight. Next up, we got a flyweight matchup. Jesus Aguilar versus Luis Gurule. Gurule is coming in as a favorite, minus 220. Aguilar is a plus 180 dog. For me, I'm going Gurule. I think people are going to be low on him here, just because after the fight with Osborne, he was a pretty big favorite for his UFC debut coming from the Contender Series. Sometimes they overhype those guys a lot, but we actually had Osborne winning that as a plus 200 dog. I just thought the matchup was well for him. He had a lot of UFC experience. Aguilar, shortest reach in the UFC, 62.5. Decent offensive wrestling, great jiu-jitsu. He has that good guillotine. He always pulls it. Gurule, constantly looking for combos. Struggles under pressure a little, but he won't have to worry about that in this fight. He's also going to be on our parlay, guys, so it's Donchenko, Costa, and Gurule. That's a great parlay for you guys money-wise with the odds. Who do you got in this one, Joey?
Yeah, Jesus Aguilar, man, high-level BJJ guy. He throws at a crazy low volume, though, and he does lack power on the feet, which scares me. He's always level changing, which I think Gurule could find a knee for. So, man, and, he struggles under pressure. Well, he's not going to be in much pressure. I think he's going to be doing the pressuring. I think he's going to make Aguilar uncomfortable, push him against the cage, and then when he does go for that shot, time a perfect knee up the middle, maybe drop him a couple times, and then get the finish. I got Gurule by KO, but go money line just for the parlay sake. If you want to throw all those three together, let's make some money. Let's get it. All right, guys, next up, we got a strawweight matchup between Tatiana Suarez and Amanda Lemos. Tatiana Suarez is a minus 400 favorite, and Amanda Lemos is a plus 310 dog. Amanda Lemos, she does good in her scrambles, and she's a pretty high-level jiu-jitsu artist. She throws nasty elbows and mixes up her kicks pretty good. But Tatiana Suarez lands 4.65 takedowns in 15 minutes, and her offensive grappling is next level. For that reason, I got to take Tatiana Suarez on the money line. No bet action as far as method of victory, but money line Tatiana Suarez is my pick. Who you got, Bryson?
Yeah, I'm also going Tatiana Suarez. I know this is another one people will be low on after the Wei Lee fight. Lemos, her last three, she's fought Dern, Jandaroba, and Lucindo, and she's actually 2-1 in her last three. I think a lot of people just count her out because, her body language isn't the best at times, but she has good kickboxing, mixes up her kicks well. Bad takedown defense, so at 59%. And you guys know Suarez. She's going to just keep shooting takedowns. She has a great gas tank. She showed that in the Wei Lee fight, going 5 rounds after off, like on a, what was it, like a 1.5, 2-year layoff. Suarez is a dog. I think she'll bounce back here. You could go Suarez decision, or if she pulls out a submission, Lemos has had problems with that in the past, but she has good jiu-jitsu. I'd just go Suarez money line. And, she's going to get a good bounce-back win. Next up, we got a lightweight matchup, Claudio Puelles versus Joaquim Silva. Silva is coming in at plus 100, Puelles minus 120, so almost a pick 'em. I like Silva here just as the slight dog. He has really good power in his hands, good counter puncher. Trains at American Top Team. He's fought some decent competition in the UFC. Yes, he's been inactive, but Claudio also has as well. He's inactive. He does good in scrambles, mainly a grappling guy. I mean, this guy pulls guard. Anyone that pulls guard in the UFC, I'm never really betting on them unless it's like a Contender Series matchup where it's so favorable for the grappler. But, he gasses out quick. I think if Silva can even take this to the second, third round, it's going to be very bad for Claudio. And I'm going to go Silva here by knockout, round 1, round 2. I wouldn't put money on it, but who do you got, Joey?
Yeah, I also have Silva. I'm taking him on the money line, but I see why Bryson picked the KO. I mean, Claudius has a crazy low fight IQ, guys. He just opens up to takedowns. When Silva's gonna shoot, I think he's gonna slam him. I think it's gonna be over. I could see a quick KO, but I always stick with the money line, be a little safer. He goes out super quick, and the only thing he really has going for him is a scramble, and I don't think it's even gonna get there. So, yeah, give me Silva money line. All right, guys. Next up, we got a middleweight matchup between Jose Daniel Medina and Duskov Todorovic. Medina is a plus 240 dog, and Todorovic is a minus 300 favorite. So Medina, on the other hand, guys, he has terrible takedown defense, but he's super tough. He loves to get into a scrap, you know what I'm saying? Todorovic, on the other hand, hasn't had the best, of luck in his recent fights, but I think that changes here. He does get chinned a little bit, but he does really good early, and I think that's going to take effect on Medina. I think I'm going to do Todorovic round 1 or just Todorovic money line, something crazy like that. I don't know. Todorovic money line is the safest bet. What do you got, Bryson?
Yeah, I'll go Todorovic. This is a crazy fight. They put this one a little before I think this is the last prelim, actually. And, they know this is going to be a little bit of fireworks. There's going to be a knockout here. Todorovic, he has KO power in his hands, decent offensive grappling. He does get chinned easily, but they're putting him up against dogs. I mean, Abdul Malik was tough. Same with Medina, but Medina losing to, I think it was Gatsuliav or whatever that guy was from, Brima, I think was the country, somewhere in the Middle East. But Medina, he's just tough. He likes to get dirty. Leaves openings to be countered. I see Todorovic coming out here, knocking him out round 1. I think round 1's a good play if you want to play that or the knockout, but don't put a lot of money on this fight.
All right, guys. Next up, we got a bantamweight bout between Santiago Luna and Quang Lee. Santiago Luna is a minus 125 favorite, and Quang Lee's a plus 105 dog. Santiago Luna is a former wrestling national champ and throws a nasty right hand, guys. Quang Lee, he has great offensive grappling and wants to use his reach to stay long, which I think will play into his favor. I see Luna, coming in. He does have good jiu-jitsu, but I see him coming in trying to get the takedown, find the finish, and Quang Lee, he's going to be crazy on the hands and find a knee up the middle probably, or get it done in a great fashion. I got Quang Lee on the money line, and who you got, Bryson?
This is a short notice bout, and it's at bantamweight, by the way. Luna fought at featherweight his last couple fights. He's 21 years old. I know it's easy to cut weight, but I think it will be rough for him. I'm going Quang Lee here, the more experienced guy. He fought in the LFA. Now the UFC got a couple bouts under him against Zhao Long, Bolaños, and then Chris Gutierrez, short notice as well. So he's done this before. Works to the body well. Cardio fades a little late, but so does Luna's. Luna's young. I don't think he's been battle tested. He has some decent ground and pound, shoots those explosive takedowns, has that background. But I think Quang Lee's a good play here. I like Quang Lee. Good sharp boxing. Shoots tricky takedowns. He mixes it up when he has to, and I bet you his game's improved a little after a couple of these fights and finally getting his first W, his last fight for UFC. All right, guys, we got the last prelim of the night, short notice fight. Alexander Hernandez versus Diego Ferreira. Ferreira's coming in at plus 120. Hernandez is minus 140. You had Hernandez, who knocked out Chase Hooper, our boy. We were super sad when that happened. Great performance. Hooper was actually winning that first round until he wasn't. But Hernandez, he was having good defense on the feet, timed his counters well, and, he got some pop in his shots. Good takedown defense, 71%. It probably went up a little more, after Hooper. He just shows a lot of improvement in it. Mixes in his whole game, has fought tough competition. Diego Ferreira, he's 40 years old, guys. Him and Green were fighting for a reason. Now you got Hernandez, 32 years old. I really like Hernandez in this spot, and especially at that money. I know it's on short notice, but I would not be mad at you guys if you were putting a lot of money on Hernandez. Probably by decision, but I wouldn't be shocked if he knocked him out and got back-to-back knockouts. Ferreira just has bad takedown defense, takedown accuracy, 30%. So it's going to be tough for him implementing his grappling or the clinch, and I don't think he wants to see Hernandez in the clinch. So I'm going Hernandez. Who do you got, Joey?
Yeah, I'm also going Hernandez. I think the only two bets you can place on this fight are Hernandez money line or Ferreira round one. Ferreira is crazy. He could get the insane knockout, but being 40 years old, bro, I don't think the gas tank is there. I don't think he has the wits to go all 3 rounds with him. Hernandez, on the other hand, yep, he's crazy. He did the job against Hooper. Don't like that because he's our boy, but, he did pop out a solid jab, and I think he's going to get it done. But I don't know how he's going to finish it, so I'd say just pick him on the money line for a safe bet. And if you're feeling a little risky, maybe Ferreira round one on a long shot. All right, guys, next up, we got a middleweight matchup between Kevin Gastelum and Dustin Stolfutz. Kevin Gastelum is a minus 250 favorite, and Dustin Stolfutz is a plus 195 dog. Kevin Gastelum, he's like Vettori, guys. He has an iron shin. He has pretty decent technical boxing, and he is 33 years old against Dustin Stolfutz, who is 33. Just throwing that out there. But Stolfutz shows some great footwork, and he has solid BJJ. He does pretty good in the clinch, but outside of that, I don't see a way for him to win. For that reason, I got Gastelum. I know he can go all 3. He's fought, killers. I got Gastelum on the money line. Who do you have, Bryson?
I do think the line's a little big for Gastelum. I do like Gastelum here, though. Stolfutz, he is good, though. Good kickboxing style. He always is switching his stance, being weird. Sometimes, though, he doesn't apply pressure. He'll just stay there, looks for counter opportunities, and Gastelum's willing to go forward. And if the crowd's behind him and he's going a little crazy here, I think a lot of people will like it, and Gastelum's going to pull out a decision. Stolfutz is tough, but, man, what if we just got, a vintage Gastelum performance and he gets a knockout here? I mean, that would just be fun for the fans, the Noche card feel. But, yeah, I'm going Gastelum here, and I love it. The featured fight of the night, we got Rafa Garcia, lightweight bout, versus Jared Gordon. Gordon's coming in at minus 225. Garcia's plus 185. You know, guys, shockingly, I'm going Garcia here as the dog. I think part of it could be the Noche play, being there, in Texas. It will be a big Mexican crowd. I think he could pull out a decision. I think Gordon's fought better competition, no doubt about it. Good offensive wrestling, very strong in the clinch, attacks at all levels. He's a guy who's going to apply pressure. Garcia, he's a smooth technical boxer, can mix up the wrestling very well. 60% striking accuracy. When he gets in the middle and he's popping out his jab, that will work well. And if he can, I think pop that jab out early and hurt Gordon, maybe even catch him with something and just, assert his dominance early, I think Garcia can pull off a decision, so I'm going with the underdog here. So Garcia, who do you got, Joey?
Yeah, guys, I also got Garcia for the aspect, Gordon is 36 years old. He's getting a little older. He does pressure really early, but I think that doesn't play into his favor. He has great footwork, but, his gas tank's pretty good, although I think Garcia could exploit that a little bit. He has fought tough UFC comp on the Gordon side, and he's very strong in the clinch where he's going to want to work, try to get him down, maybe get a TKO. I don't see a way for Gordon to do that in this fight, so I got Garcia on the money line. I'm not going to pick a method of victory, but let's get it, Garcia money line. All right, guys, the co-main event of the evening. We got a bantamweight bout between Rob Font and David Martinez. Rob Font coming in at a minus 140 favorite, and David Martinez as a plus 120 dog. Guys, we've seen Rob Font fight in person before. He's crazy. He has improved his takedown defense tremendously, and he has a good get-up game against the fence. David Martinez, on the other hand, shows good footwork and has some clean high kicks. But he's very selective with his shots, which I think could play into Rob Font's favor. How active Rob Font's hands are. He's going to just sit there, look for the perfect time to shoot. Rob Font's going to hit him with a 1-2, keep tagging him up with a jab. I got Rob Font on the money line. Who do you got, Bryson?
Yeah, I'm also going the boy Rob Font. Me and Joey saw him in Seattle against Matsumoto. Also, another short notice fight with Font and Martinez. Martinez was supposed to fight Luna. Quang Lee came in. Martinez gets elevated to the co-main event against Font. Yes, Font's 38 years old. We've seen him injured before. The UFC probably does want Martinez. It's a Noche Mexican on the co-main event. But I like Font here with the experience. 57% striking defense, guys. He's missing people when they're coming at him with the significant strikes. He struggles with grappling, defense at times. Martinez might mix that in. Martinez, good snappy low kicks, very patient, doesn't rush things. But Font just has super clean boxing. He makes it dirty. He might even cut Martinez, which I think will help him win a decision. He has a crazy flow once he gets to that flow state, his stand-up game is just so easy. It's natural to him. I'm going to go Font here, money line. I think it's going to be a close fight, though, guys. I wouldn't bet on it, but I love Font, so we're going Font here. All right, guys, we got the main event of the evening. Diego Lopes versus Jean Silva. Silva's coming in at minus 275. Diego Lopes is plus 225. I tell you guys I'm not biased, but today I am. I got my Jean Silva shirt on. I know people are low on the fighting nerds right now, which is fine, because I know Jean Silva's different. He's a different type of beast. He's a different animal. So is Prates. Prates showed after losing to Gary he's just fine. I get it. There's a lot of heat. They were the main event, co-main, they lose. But with here, I love Jean Silva. I think at minus 275, he's such a steal. Lopez at plus 225, that I understand why people would play it. He's fought Volk, Evlev, Dan Ige, Brian Ortega. He's fought, better competition than Silva, I'm not going to lie. But Silva has excellent takedown defense, 86%. We've seen he has good jiu-jitsu, very calm, has great timing, his feint game's so smooth. We saw him in Seattle knock that guy out. It was so awesome. Lopes, though, he keeps a high defensive guard, but he does has an excellent chin, good in scrambles. But with someone at 30 years old who has a good chin, the reason why you have a good chin is because you do get hit a lot. We've seen it many times, and I think Silva can find the knockout here in round 1, round 2. I would play Silva if I were you guys. He's another great piece on your parlays. Who do you got here, Joey?
Yeah, I also have John Silva. I mean, Diego Lopes, guys, everybody knows him. I love him too, but in this fight, I just don't see a way for him to win. He gets hit a lot on counters, which John Silva thrives on. He waits for that counter punch. He'll wait all day for you. He knows what you're going to do, and it's almost like he's downloading data. He just finds that uppercut, finds that shot to knock you down when you're not expecting it. Lopes, though, like Bryson said, has fought elite comp like Volk and all those guys. We saw how emotional he got after that, and I think he's coming back in here hoping to get, a bounce back to get back to that title, but John Silva's a different type of dog. He's going to bark all night, and he's not stopping, baby. So let's get John Silva KO. I'm picking John Silva KO. Let's get it. Moneyline safer, but let's get it. All right, guys, thank you so much for tuning in to Rain City MMA. We got a special parlay for you for Noche. We appreciate all your support, your likes, your comments, subscribes, even the views, man. We do this every week for a reason, and it just shows us even more why we got some motivation. So our 3-leg parlay is Donchenko minus 250. We got Costa at a minus 440, and we got Garule at a minus 220. Lock it in, and let's win some money. Let's go, baby.